You know, this bad stuff happens, and for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. That if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody...
You wanted him to be an immigrant. That's what you wanted. You either wanted him to be a or a Mexican immigrant. Y'all was banking on it. Y'all was like, yes, if he could have just been a Mexican, if he could have just been black, we could have get this race war on and popping. Yeah. No race war for you. It was a 22-year-old white kid whose daddy was a Republican pastor and the whole family were Trump supporters.
For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped for.
Lock in. What the hell did I just hear? Did the governor of Utah, who has one of the most lax gun laws in the state, is surprised as one of his residents that committed the assassination? It's been confirmed that Tyler Robinson, a white man from Utah, was the one that assassinated Charlie Kirk. Not a black person, not a Muslim person, not a trans person, but a white man from Utah. Now, based on his voter registration, it shows that he has no affiliation to any parties. Now, there isn't any direct evidence to show the individual's ideology, although there is a photograph of the individual in a Donald Trump costume. There are numerous photos of the suspect handling firearms, which clearly shows that Utah gun laws failed Charlie Kirk. And I still don't understand how the Utah's governor is still surprised that it was a white man from Utah that did this. If we just look at all the attempted assassinations and assassinations that happened this year, all of it was from white men. State lawmaker Melissa Hortman, suspect is a white man. The 2 assassination attempts on Donald Trump were white men. But you guys won't acknowledge that. And the reason is because Charlie Kirk bred the idea that white Christian people are the perfect being and anyone outside of that are criminals or problems. And any white individual part of any minority group is a corrupted individual. I would say pray for Charlie Kirk's family, but my prayers are wrapped up into the HBCUs that got those threats: Gaza, Sudan, and Congo.
I just finished watching a press conference by the governor of Utah. And if you haven't seen it, then you definitely need to go back and watch it. I can't believe the words that came out of this man's mouth. I can, but I can't. He actually said that he prayed that it was not one of them, that he hoped that it was somebody from another country or from another state. He actually said that. That came out of his mouth because he's saying that it would have made it a lot easier because the type of things that happened to Charlie, those things don't happen in Utah, is what he's saying. But I also noticed too that they keep saying that this is political violence. But as far as I know, and from what I've heard about the guy who took out Charlie Kirk, he was actually a number 47 supporter. He was not from the left. He was actually from the right. He was actually one of them. So I don't understand why they keep trying to make this political. Now, as far as I heard, the guy that did this to Charlie, he didn't like him, is all that I heard them say. It had nothing to do with politics. I did not hear him mention politics, but he did not like Charlie.
Bring up his press conference when he said if something like this was going to happen, he wished it would have been like someone from a foreign country or someone from another state had did something like this other than one of their own. It would have made it easier. So when I heard that, and he was talking about Charlie Kirk getting killed, I'ma stop using assassination. He got killed. And did you see how he said Republicans, Democrats, MAGA? MAGA is not a fucking party. Like, stop doing that stupid shit. But let's talk about that comment. He said it out of his mouth. They wanted to blame some foreigner or someone of color or anybody other than a Utahian. I don't know how y'all call it, who live in Utah. And we all know Utah is predominantly white. So he wanted to blame someone other than someone white. It would have been easier. He said that. You cannot make this up. Go to YouTube. He said it out of his mouth. He wished it had been someone foreign. He wished it had been someone other than someone who lived in Utah. So basically, people, what he said was, when he said foreign, he wished it had been someone that they could have blamed other than someone white. And then stop talking about MAGA as if they're a party. They're not. They're not a party. It's Republican Party, and it's supposed to be the Democrat Party. That's it. And maybe the Independent Party. MAGA is not a party. MAGA is something that was started by Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. That's what it is. So stop making this guy out to be something that he wasn't. He was just a citizen who ran his mouth, who pissed off a lot of people and got himself killed because he took the Constitution and the freedom of speech and he used it as a weapon instead of a tool, and the weapon came back and bit him. That's all he did. Just all he did. Just like any other citizen, if you take part of the Constitution and you use that part of that Constitution as a weapon, that weapon will turn around and bite you. That's all he did. Period. So let's stop playing this game, people, and stop doing this. The governor of Utah should be ran out of office, but we know how Utahians are, or people who live in Utah. I don't want to keep using the word that make me sound ignorant, but the people who live in Utah, you guys should be offended when he said that. But I don't live in Utah, so I don't know how you guys think. I don't know your political views. I don't know where you guys stand. But you guys should really be offended for that type of situation. For him to come up here and say what he said was that he wished it was someone, a foreigner or someone from another state instead of one of you guys, because that came off really tacky and really bad. I'm just saying, look it up and make your own opinion about it.
At this point, I'm convinced white supremacists are praying to the devil.
For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I hoped.
Praying for 33 hours straight for a black person or a Democrat, radical liberal, to do what they did to old boy is sick work. Only the devil, only these people that worship the devil would ever fix their mouths to say something like that, would have any kind of thought like that pop up into their head, bruh. These people are not of God. These people are not of peace. These people are of chaos, destruction, and evil. Just evil spirit. And they've been like this from the jump. You know what I'm saying? Not all white people, obviously, but the same people that have that white supremacist thinking, that white supremacist attitude, white supremacist practice that they do every single day. It's nothing but evil, pure evil.
So in his speech today, the governor of Utah talked about how we needed to embrace each other's differences. And directly after that, he went on to say, this is an actual quote from him. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, that somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer wasn't answered the way I hoped for. Just because I thought it would make it easier to say, hey, we don't do that here, you moron. So I don't know if any of you watched the press conference today. I want to talk about what the governor of Utah said, which was that he really hoped that it wasn't someone from his state. He went on to say that he hoped it was someone from another state. He hoped it was someone from another country. Now, then he goes on to say that the division in the politics needs to stop. He in no way gave a speech today to me that would say, he wants it to stop. I thought my governor was bad. Tate Reeves, geez. I thought he was radicalized. when you think about the stuff that he was saying, the governor, his mind shows to me that he is more focused on blaming actual problems here in America on homegrown soil. They are so much more focused on finding other reasons to blame stuff on, just like a narcissist, right? When they know that there is really a problem, they are so much more focused on finding other reasons to excuse the problem. It's a homegrown terroristic act, just like all of the other school shootings. And that's the issue that needs to be fixed. It's not looking for people outside of your state or out of the country. You know, this is here. This is at home. This is something that needs to be addressed again. And one last thing I want to talk about. I looked at a lot of the comments that were going on during that live, and oh my God, so many threats on left-leaners.
Just a quick reminder, they were looking for a scapegoat. They were looking to justify something. We got so lucky. It wasn't a person of color. It wasn't an immigrant. It wasn't a trans person. They made it very clear, the right made it very clear that they were looking for a person of color. Be mindful. It wasn't a leftist. It wasn't any progressive or liberal that made that shot. He had homophobic messages. If you're reading this, you're gay, was one of the messages. Be mindful. They were looking for a fucking scapegoat to justify the means of what they were going to do next.
Hey, y'all, just coming through right quick. Listen, I am listening to ABC World News right now. They're doing a special report where the officials out there in Utah are talking about what happened to Charlie Kirk today. And they're asking for you all to pray for him, okay? They said set aside your differences. And if you even celebrate it a little bit, you need to check yourself. Now, Spencer Cox is the governor, and he was doing all this talking. He said he got a call from Donald Trump and everything. He working with the FBI, and they will catch the person. And he said that Utah still has the death penalty. Not sure why he was throwing out that information, but he was seeming like he really wanted people to really feel sorry for Charlie Cox. You know, I understand how people feel. They're upset about this political thing that's going on, but we know that Donald Trump started all this. He said he had a conversation with Donald Trump. Did you tell Donald Trump what you're on the TV saying? You need to tell Donald Trump to stop the foolishness. We were doing okay until he came into office with all of this going on, y'all. This has caused a lot of people to get hurt and things like that. And he talked about the different states where other political officials have been injured or attempts have been on their lives and stuff. So this is coming from ABC News. It was a special report. You can go do your own research. These are facts from ABC News, okay? Follow me for more and I'll keep you updated. What do you think about the Charlie Kirk situation? Thank you.
Let's be absolutely clear on who unalived Charlie Kirk. He wasn't black. He wasn't Latino. He wasn't Asian. He wasn't a person of color. He wasn't an immigrant. He wasn't trans. He wasn't some outsider the right loves to scapegoat. He was homegrown. He was white. His name was Tyler Robinson, and he came straight out of Utah. He wasn't some radical leftist. He wasn't Antifa. He wasn't a progressive activist. The man was decked out in an American flag t-shirt. That alone tells you everything. Liberals don't dress like that. That's part of the conservative starter kit, straight down the line. And the bullet evidence makes it even clearer. Investigators found an unfired round engraved with the words, "If you're seeing this, you're gay, LMAO." Nobody on the left is out here writing that. This kind of message is pure far-right culture. Juvenile, homophobic, straight out of their playbook. So the idea that the far left is somehow responsible, it falls apart the second you look at the facts. Which brings me back to what I said in one of my most recent posts. The right keeps crying out for vengeance. But vengeance against who exactly? Because this wasn't the left. This wasn't progressives. The evidence points right back at them. So are they going to keep pointing fingers at the liberals even when it makes no sense? Or are they going to finally admit the truth? That this was one of their own. The threat wasn't from the outside. The call came from inside the house.
So hello guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Sumi here once again. You people who don't know me, you're landing on my channel for the very first time. Please, that picture, that is me. I am doing a voiceover. The main reason is because I don't have electricity where I'm at, but I think my voice can might not see the video, but you can hear my voice. So that is me in the picture. All my returning subscribers, you guys, I treasure you. I honestly didn't take none of you for granted, and the main reason why I've decided to even talk at the end of this video is because I didn't want to interrupt you guys since I'm not showing my face. You will excuse me for that. Well, in today's episode, should I even say today's episode, because I have posted so far 3 videos. All of them are related to the death of Charlie Kirk, and I feel like maybe it's too much, but every time I feel like stopping, I keep on landing on something new, because this is what is on everyone's mouth. So guys, there is a conference that happened. I think people have been on YouTube already. You have seen it. So this governor of Utah, I don't know how to pronounce that very well, came out and said, I wish it was somebody from another country, from another state. In other words, he was trying to mean that I wish it was either a black person or an immigrant, you know, or a Mexican or Latino. Like, they wish it wasn't their own. They wish it wasn't a white person. So in other words, they are still in disbelief because they think they are the ones who are always perfect. You know, they feel like they shouldn't be. They feel like they are embarrassed and they can't accept the truth. They can't take in the truth. But with things of God, they are not God. God always shows that, yes, amongst you still you have the people who still have the bad hearts, who can literally, you know, who wish bad to themselves, you know, as they think that they have enemies from other races, but inside their own races, they are having enemies of themselves. Like themselves, they don't even love themselves, because if they 100% love themselves, then why would they shoot them? Why would they people themselves? You know, these people are still in this belief that it's their own, and they wish it was another race. Are you seeing that, guys? Are you seeing the kind of picture? Are you seeing the mentality and the thoughts they have for other races? This is so selfish. This is an evil heart. Anywho, guys, let me stop from here. I don't know what you think. If you've come across this live or this conference already, let me know what you think, because I felt like I couldn't go to bed without bringing this to you guys. And by the way, still I appreciate you guys, for all of you who keep on coming back watching my video. You know, I'm not the most perfect content creator. I am not the most entertaining on here, but if you stay around and you be like, let me listen to what she says, even if I don't make sometimes, I honestly still appreciate you. Yes, thank you so much and have a good night. Bye.